Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagpapalitang tumpak at damok. Buhay at tumpak sa labas ng kwenta, aking ibibida. The voice of the Blue Eagle, the voice of the Blue Eagle. Tawag ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugat por todos at tayo, tulo at tulo. Lipag na lumigil, hindi na bigil. Blue and white, only fly. Radyo, Radyo, the voice of the Blue Eagle, the voice of the Blue Eagle.
Coming up next, Wellness Wednesdays on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo Katipunan.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayon, tulong at tulong. Lipat na Blue Eagle, kaning giting nagigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan.
We all want to live healthier in mind, body, and spirit. But where do we start? Sometimes, all it takes is a good conversation. Tune in to Wellness Wednesdays on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Together with experts, inspiring guests, and real stories, we explore tips you can actually use. From managing stress, to eating better, to finding balance in a busy world. Because here, we believe wellness isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So join us, and let's make every Wednesday a step toward your healthiest self. Wellness Wednesdays, wellness that speaks to you. From the body, mind, to might. Every Wednesday on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Hello, wellness seekers. Welcome back to another episode of Wellness Wednesdays, your midweek dose of balance and positivity. I am King Philart from Nurturing Connections, and I will be your host. Here on Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM, we bring you wellness that speaks to you, from the body, mind, to mic. Every week, we explore tips, conversations, and stories that help keep your mind, body, and spirit in harmony. So sit back, take a deep breath, and join us as we dive into today's topic, designed to keep you grounded and inspired. You can catch our program live on Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM via traditional radio if you are around Katipunan Avenue. And we are also on audio streaming via zeno.fm/radio/RK879FM and via live streaming through the Facebook pages and YouTube pages of Radyo Katipunan. And if you want updates about our program, do follow us on social media at Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok. So, parenting today often means carrying many roles at once. Beyond raising children, many parents are also balancing work, relationships, financial responsibilities, and personal challenges, all while trying to stay present to their families. In this episode of Wellness Wednesday, we talk about what it means to navigate these realities as a modern parent, how stress shapes family life, and how parents continue to adapt, grow, and find strength through the changing demands of raising children. Joining us today is Enha Tuprio-Brondo, a mother of three, a parent advocate, and a community worker whose life and work are deeply rooted in supporting families and empowering communities. Enha and I actually used to work together. So it's especially meaningful to have her with us today. Beyond her community work, she brings a rich and grounded perspective as a parent raising children in different stages of development, including a child with special needs. Through both her personal journey and her work with other mothers and families, she offers valuable insight into the realities of parenting, resilience, and wellness in everyday life. Welcome to Wellness Wednesdays, Enha.
Thank you so much, King, for inviting me.
Oh, it's so nice to see you again. Parang kanina, you were just catching up, no? But maybe to start off our episode, could you tell us more about yourself, as a parent who wears multiple hats, as parang every day you have to think about many things. Kumusta ang pagiging ikaw in this modern era?
Okay. Saan ako titingin dito? Sorry. Magandang buhay po sa ating lahat. I'm Enha Erica Brondo. You can call me Enha. I've been, first and foremost, I'm a wife to my husband Kenneth, and then I'm a mother for 3 kids. No? So I have Arya, who is 10, who has autism, and then I have my 2 little boys. Kobe is 6 and Bruce is 3. Also, I've been working for the Office for Social Concern and Involvement here in ADMU for the past 10 years. I'm currently handling NSTP 12 Big Kiss. I'm part of the NSTP 12 Big Kiss team. So we're handling third-year students. I think it's also helpful for me. It's also a good giving back for me, as I'm also a graduate of Ateneo. So I graduated BS Management. Alongside my full-time work, I'm currently an officer also of the Ateneo de Manila Multipurpose Cooperative, or ANPC. And then I'm also a student. So I just recently got approved to be reinstated in my my Master's in Social Development. And currently studying, actually current context ko, I'm studying for my comprehensive exams this Saturday and next Saturday. So for everyone taking their compre, kaya natin to. Tapos, I think everything falls into place. I think everything guides also my thesis. It's also, parang what I do in my master's is also encompassing of everything I'm doing as a mother and also as a worker in the social development. No? So we're doing community engagements. My thesis is on livelihood. No? So as you mentioned earlier, I'm working on my personal agenda actually is really to empower nanaypreneurs. No? So my current focus is studying how can we better help or create an ecosystem, create an entrepreneurial ecosystem for the nanaypreneurs. No? So nanaypreneurs is a very different species. Like you have entrepreneurs, you have small business, nano businesses, different types of entrepreneurs, but a mother and an entrepreneur in one person, it's very powerful. So I'm studying that.
Which is very in line with our theme or our topic for today, for today's episode. Parang, what is it like being a parent and dealing with a lot of things all at the same time? Ako nga, isa lang anak ko and you're a mom of 3. Like, I can't imagine, hindi ko kayang gawin yun in this day and age. But for you, parang, can you describe to us parang ano yung typical day for a mom like you?
Okay. Currently, the context is all my kids are going to school. So we wake up at 4 in the morning. So 4 in the morning, I preparing Arya and Kobe. And then after a few hours, I'm preparing Bruce for his daycare naman. So, and then afterwards, currently it's either I'm working or I'm studying. So I'm trying to juggle both. And when they've gone to school, at least I have free time, and then I'm preparing lunch, and then after this is when I'm work from home. No, this is when
So
I'm
when you
usually
say free time, you're actually may free time ka to work.
yeah, may free time ako to do other things,
Okay.
other things, to work or to study, and then after so we have lunch, and then after lunch, it's their nap time, and usually pag nap time nila, it's also my free time. So that's
Right.
when I can also do my other things, or doing household chores. So and then I have a hard stop around 5:30, and then they go out to play, and then I start preparing dinner. We have dinner, then we have to be asleep before 9 p.m. So that's like a typical day when I work from home. But when I'm not at home, after I've prepared Arya and Kobe, I go to work. And then I'm at work, and then hopefully by 3 p.m. I've gone back to the house, because my husband also has to work. So nagda-drive kasi yung husband ko. So yun, he's working also. So I think that's our typical day. Now, I think what works is because we're doing it together. Like we had an experience of having help with us, no? Because mahirap kasing maghanap ng yaya for 3 kids, no?
That's right.
I think we were lucky that someone accepted the role of taking care of 3 kids, diba? So paghahanap nga lang ng yaya for 1 is hard enough, diba? So parang for someone to accept 3 kids, ayun. So although kasi mahirap siya sa finances, no? So medyo mabigat siya, kaya nag-decide din kami na kahit pareho kami nag-work, we found a way. I think we found a system where both of us can work, but also both of us can take care of the kids. So the system is when I'm at work, he's the one at home, and then when he's at work, I'm the one at home. So parang
Okay.
So parang ganun yung schedule namin, and then
So parang laging may parent who is always present
Yes.
at home. And it
Yes.
sounds to me that every day, parang it's always a challenge. I don't know if challenge is the right word, but it's always like the goal is to find the balance between you two, you and Kenneth, and at the same time having that time for yourself, for
Yeah.
work and at home, right? Usually when we talk to parents, parang we talk to them, and then each family has their own values. And usually, diba, parang yun yung values na nag-guide sa kanila, how to do their everyday things, how they find balance. But for you, parang you as a person or in your family, parang how do you, what's a guiding value for you that guides you in, finding that balance in life or at home?
I think the first thing I thought of with the question is being present. I think that's the most valuable thing, because I've seen in Facebook, like there are mothers who choose to work, but then there's the mom guilt of like,
Yeah, that's right.
there's the mom guilt like, oh, I'm working, I am providing, but I don't have much time with the kids.
Yeah.
And then there are those mothers who choose to stay at home, but there's also the mom guilt because like, why am I not? How can I? Parang there's na parang hindi ako nakakapag-provide, hindi ako so parang may ganong mga So I think in both seasons kasi, whether which season you're in, I think being present is the most valuable. Like, and being present is different definitions siya. And
Yeah.
I think basta naman like you're making sure that you've allotted time to sit down with them in like meal time or or in studying, or the mere fact of preparing them for school. I think that's being present, no? Or I usually pagka kailangan ko mag-work, I make sure na meron silang kasama. No? So at least may some sort of being present din siya. Pangalawa, I think what's been helpful for our family actually for the past more than almost 2 years na, kasi we're currently active in a born again Christian church. So I'm saying this kasi kung values yung pinag-uusapan, super laking bagay niya for us. Kasi naging bahagi na siya ng schedule namin. Like, they look forward to every Saturday and Sunday because they know we're going to church. So parang pag Saturday, we join. My husband and I joined the discipleship training, and then in the afternoon we both serve in the worship ministry. So he plays the instruments, and then I join the singing. So parang nagpa-practice kami, and then I have a parang Bible study group or discipleship group, and then every Sunday we have Sunday service in the morning, and then the kids are in kids church. So parang natututo din sila dun sa kids church. And then in the afternoon, it's either with the youth or may other activities in church. I'm saying this because it's been helpful for us na hindi lang kami yung parang hindi lang kami yung nagtuturo about values. So it's not coming from us, no, but it's coming from what we study in church, what we study from, what we learn about Jesus Christ, what we learn about from the Bible. No? So, parang for me, that says a lot, no, with the values. And then lastly, siguro, yung kindness, na choosing kindness every single day. It's not something na for the kids lang to learn, but even us as parents is also, I can't say I'm perfect in it already, parang there's always that kailangan mo siya laging piliin.
That's right.
Kasi especially when kasi nararanasan ko yun yung parang overwhelmed ka, ang daming overstimulated, ang dami mong iniisip na kailangan mong gawin, bakit ayaw pa nilang matulog, may kailangan pa akong gawin. So parang yung mga ganun, pero there's that at the back of, parang there's that reminder to choose kindness and to be present.
That there is always a choice, and you can always choose kindness. I love that. And also parang the way you mention and describe presence, being present. You talked about being present in the family, for your kids, and being present doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It's in the small interactions that you can see it within the day, and those can make an impact, no ba? And you didn't mention this, pero I feel like being present in the community, which I just learned now, hindi ko alam na super active ka pala sa community, sa church, no? Parang I know na professionally you work and help communities, but at the same time during the weekends, parang you also do you're also present in your community. Pero Ina, parang usually when I talk with my friends, parang with my families and other parents, parang sabihin na, being present is such hard work. And like, it feels like I want to be present in many things, pero hindi ko kayang hatiin yung sarili ko.
Right.
So parang, how does that make sense for you, na parang being present actually doesn't really tear you apart, but it's actually helping you.
Right.
Parang, how is that, kung may nakikinig na parents ngayon na parang, how can I turn that as maybe something that's a challenge, but more like a motivator for me?
I think it all boils down to how you take care of yourself. Kasi ako, I make it a point that every start of the day, like I do it after I've prepared Arya and Kobe for school. But I have this thing called like a power hour. So like, it's like it's mine. It's my time. Like, it's like a time for myself. Like, that's where I read the Bible, I do my devotional, sometimes I walk, sometimes I go out to walk, or basta may movement. Tapos also, it's also a chance for me to drink coffee. Diba? So parang yung parang yung refueling mo nung sarili mo before you give it out to others. I think, kasi mahirap maging present kung ubos ka.
That's right.
So I think...
You can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, you can't pour from an empty cup. No? So, for me, that's... Actually, share ko lang. Kasi, we just had a retreat last week. Na, so, parang one of the... This was one of the things that I was pondering on. No? Parang, how am I still serving correctly? Like, tama pa ba yung ministry na ginagawa ko when it comes to my being a wife, being a mother, alongside the many other things I'm doing? Parang tama pa ba yung ginagawa ko? And I hope it's okay. No? Parang there's this verse that I also shared with my teammates. No? So, and it answered it. Na parang, this is from the first letter of Paul to the Thessalonians, chapter 3, verse 12. May the Lord make your love increase and overflow for each other and for everyone else, just as ours does for you. Yung parang, you're being present, not without depleting yourself.
That's right.
Parang, you're being present from the overflow. Yung parang, ini-increase mo yung... There's this awareness na pagka nauubos ka na, mahirap talagang maglingkod, di ba? Right. So with your family, for example, the very first priority. So you have to increase that love. Na parang for me that's my praying eh. It's my praying helps increase that love. And then parang fino-fuel ko yung sarili ko, and then the overflow is what I share with others.
Oh, that's right. So parang you find a way to nourish yourself, your cup in a way, so that you're able to share the love and be present.
Yeah.
That's nice, no? Parang naisip ko sa akin, parang it's also maybe it's also like a mindset shift. Like being present doesn't have to be life depleting, but it can also be like life giving.
Yeah.
In a way, no? So parang, I know also some parents who would be like, being present actually fills my cup. You know, ako mismo nakaka-relate na parang, just imagining being away from my kids. No? Dati na-experience ko rin sa kanina, like, it feels wrong when I work for my family but I don't get to spend time with the family. Parang it feels wrong. But being with the family is actually a life-giving activity for me, you know? That's so nice. And thank you also for sharing that. No? I think, Ina, nagkakilala tayo when I was working with Oski dati. No? Parang, hindi ka pa ata mom. Tama ba?
I think I had Arya pa lang.
Arya? Okay. So parang through the years, parang you went to so many journey as a parent. So yung next question ko for you is, raising children at different stages of development. Yun yung bias ko as a developmental psychologist. How has that shaped your parenting? I'm sure when you had Arya, parang this is the kind of parent that you are. Pero as dumami na yung anak mo, di ba? Parang paano nag-evolve yung parenting mo? And how did you manage, the transition, the added responsibilities? Yun muna.
Sige. I think naalala ko lagi parang pag tinatanong ako, kasi I also get asked that question na parang, how do you handle 3 kids? how do you handle 3 kids alongside everything else? I think what helps me kasi is I'm not doing it alone.
That's right.
Na parang my husband and I were partners in it. Parang I think that's the most important for me. No? Pangalawa would be you parent them from where they are. I think parang meet them where they are. No, like for example, for Arya, parang the way she develops is different. For Kobe, iba din. No? So parang bawat stage of development, iba-iba sila ng iba-ibang strategy.
That's right.
No, iba-ibang strategy.
Hindi siya one size fits all.
Yeah, hindi eh. Now I'm seeing Bruce also, iba din dapat yung strategy sa kanya when it comes to when it comes, kasi iba-iba sila ng personality, iba-iba din sila ng interests. No, may common interest naman sila, which I think helps. Plus, feeling ko nakatulong sila sa isa't isa din, na parang Kobe and Bruce have been helpful for Arya in terms of socialization and playing, di ba? Tapos Kobe naman is helpful for Bruce kasi meron someone to look up to, si Bruce. Kuya. Tapos si Bruce naman, Bruce is also one, parang for our ate and kuya, yung parang yung concept na ate and kuya na they have someone to take care of also, na parang with me and Ken is it's also something to learn from. So I think yun yung nakatulong na we're not doing I'm not doing things alone, no? Parang I'm not alone in it, no? So I have my husband, and of course kasama din yung mga grandparents, like the parents of Ken, di ba? Parang tumutulong sa amin sa paghatid sundo. Tapos, kasi nandun yung bahay namin, katabi lang ng bahay ng biyenan ko. Tapos, of course, my parents also are helping pag pumupunta kami sa Marikina. So parang nakakatulong din. So, we're not alone. And then in church also, di ba? Parang the people in the church are also helping us. And then, I think what also helped me, if papasok natin yung all these years, di ba? Parang, I've been, ever since I worked in OSCE, parang dumadami lalo yung communities. Na parang every year may laging nadadagdag na community. Tapos nag-livelihood work din ako nung pandemic. No? Nag-consultancy din ako sa livelihood development. So parang ang dami ko din na-meet ng mga nanays along the way. No? So parang for me, those experiences have also been helpful for me. And in terms of kasi may mga iba-ibang kids din sila, 'di ba? So parang napagkukwentuhan din namin. Napagkukwentuhan din namin ng mga nanay. So parang nagiging part din siya ng rapport building ko with the nanays, no? Kasi
of course, yeah.
na parang nanay din ako. So parang pag nagkukwentuhan kami, aside from what we do with the students, parang nakakwento rin nila sa akin yun.
So parang working with other moms, parang gives you perspectives and you learn from them too, you know. And I really like what you said, parang you have a village, no? And at the same time, at the core of it, may partnership.
Yes.
Would you give some tips? Paano may ensure yung partnership na to na super helpful, a partnership that works in parenting? Parang if ever there are listeners who are struggling to find that partnership vibe with their spouses, parang ano yung tip or may bibigay ka na what works for you?
I think first thing is communication. No, parang first thing is communication. Kasi pagka hindi mo nasasabi sa partner mo kung ano yung kailangan mo.
That's right.
May mga mothers kasi that may mga kilala ako na parang kinukuha na lang nila. Parang they take on the task instead of asking for help.
Right.
Like, I also struggle with asking for help. No? Parang it's one of the things that I'm still learning. Pero it's also one of the things that I had to do. No? So, to ask for help, to communicate when you need help. Pangalawa, I think, is banking on the strengths of each other. Like, saan magaling yung bawat isa. So, like, for example, my husband is been helpful in household chores. No? May mga bagay sa bahay na mas kaya niyang gawin, mas marunong siyang gumawa as compared to me. Meron din akong meron din akong ibang strategy when it comes to taking care of the kids. No, so parang it works kasi na-communicate namin yung kailangan ng bawat isa. But at the same time, parang there's trust in each other's strengths. And also, there's parang merong acceptance of each other's weaknesses. Na parang
That's right.
meron ding ganon. No? So na I think it also goes back to communication.
I think that's beautiful because there are some cases na lalo na kapag medyo mahirap yung relationship, no, parang ang nagiging focus, yung tendency is to focus on the weaknesses and the struggles, right? But recognizing the strengths and cherishing, celebrating the strengths, I guess, parang that's another thing that we need to do. That's actually can be helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no?
one of the things din na parang in that context also like dahil nga dalawa na kami, parang ang konteksto ay ako nasa bahay pag wala siya, tapos nasa bahay siya pag wala ako. So I had to learn to cook. So parang for me, parang it's also one of the things, parang I think isa din yung makakatulong na parang I think it depends kasi also so kung ano yung nakasanayan mo,
Okay.
'di ba? On how you were when you were young before you got married, 'di ba? Ano yung mga natutunan mo, but also ano yung mga kailangan mo pang matutunan, no? And I think parang ako I accepted. I remember when I'm talking to the nanays, dati hindi ako marunong magluto. So magaling sila magluto. Sabi ko, yung asawa ko po kasi magaling magluto. No, pero parang ngayon, parang I'm also learning it because it's a partnership. No,
That's
parang there are things that you have to open yourself up to learning so it can be a good partnership. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Parang may, at the core of it, parang you're open to learning, the experience of learning, kasi napaka growth mindset. It's my favorite topic. Anyway, parang ito naman, kayo na you mentioned, Arya, has a autism and speech impediment. And how do you navigate and manage, raising a child with special needs, for example? Parang of course, not all families experience this, but it can also be, can add some stress or some maybe added responsibilities. Parang how does this affect or how does this influence the way you parent?
I think first things first is acceptance. I think kasi I remember bago tayo before this, like earlier during the day, I saw posts of meron naman nakita ng mga balita na nag-cum laude kahit mayroong autism, nagkaroon ng Latin honors kahit may disability. So and then I saw the comments na parang highly functioning kasi siya kaya na gawa yun. So parang I think there's acceptance na iba-iba sila ng level. And there's also acceptance of who she is. Di ba? Parang, kasi nung nalaman naman namin, of course, there's worry. No? There's worry of how are we going to do this? Na parang how do we navigate this? But what really helped us is going back to the village. Yung parang my mama is also researching on things on what to do. Tapos, tinasabi niya sa akin. And then I also have friends na psychology yung background or isa sa mga stint that I had, isa sa mga livelihood stint that I had was with the government na parang naging livelihood consultant ako in one of the offices in the government. Tapos it was dealing with children with special needs. No? So, and there, I think that was very pivotal for me. Kasi one, I had parang the people I worked with were OT, speech therapists, DevPed, and so parang for me that was helpful for me kasi natututo ako from them. Pangalawa, nagkaroon din kami ng tutor, like Arya had a tutor nung pandemic, no? So that was very helpful for us also, si Teacher Shay. Tapos nung pumasok siya sa school, we had Teacher Daisy also that was helpful. Tapos nung mga first years, nung nalaman namin, nag-therapy din kami. No? So going back to my work with Livelihood on, I was working with parents of children with special needs. No? And these are parents from, yung yung mga nahihirapan dun sa cost ng DevPed, yung mga pumipila sa Philippine Children's Medical Center para makapag-DevPed or makapag-therapy, di ba? May mga ganong pila or pipila sa LGU for the educational assistance or financial assistance. And when I was working with them, it helped shift the mindset. Kasi parang I was working, my task was how to help them.
That's right.
Parang how to help them with their livelihood. Kasi nga, ang hirap isa sa mga pinakamahirap, apart from, of course, caring for the child with disability, is yung saan ka kukuha ng funds na for the therapy sessions, for everything. No? So, parang yung livelihood projects ko noon were starting up businesses. Tapos, I met the mothers and very striking for me kasi yung ideya na they could have just focused on staying home and caring for their kids and letting the husband, of course, be the one to provide the money. But they chose to be there in my training to have their own, diba? Parang have their own enterprise and help. And then I also worked with parang isa sa mga they built this they had this organization of parents, so Kabahagi Parents Advocates Organization, so KPAW. I met their parents that didn't give up on their kids, no, that accepted their kids where they were and met them where they were. So I think that was all of those things were very helpful for me, and I think very blessing na din for us na when Kobe and Bruce came in, na parang ang laking bagay din na Arya learned also parang from them, and then nung pinasok namin siya sa school, nung nagsa-schooling na kami, 'di ba, parang isa sa mga concerns namin noon was paano siya sa school. So nung pandemic, naka-online class siya. So although private 'yun, so nahirapan kami kasi mahal yung tuition. Pagka syempre may SPED so I think tapos nag-public school kami. Tapos sa public school, may non-graded na doon muna tinitingnan nasan yung level sila. And then, after 1 year, nalipat siya sa mainstream. So parang nalipat siya sa mainstream grade 1 and now she's grade 4. So, ngayon, I'm still learning. I can't say I'm an expert in it. No, even the other parents of KPA would agree na parang we're not yet experts, but we're learning every day from her also. Na parang kasi like minsan parang mapapaisip ka na bakit hindi niya maintindihan. Na parang pag tinignan mo yung worksheet tas gagawin niya, hindi siya maintindihan. Pero pag nag-try ka ng isang ibang strategy, ito pala yung nag-work sa kanya. Like for example, as simple as adding. Parang 1 digit pa lang. Parang it's hard for her to, parang 10 plus 3 for example, it's hard for her to do 10 plus 3. Na parang, pero pag meron siyang visual, like we used popsicle sticks. So may visual siya. So, mas visual pala siya. Like kahit ako, pag nag-aaral ako, mas gusto kong pinapakinggan kesa binabasa. So parang each of them has a way of learning na pag magkakaiba. So kailangan mong alamin yun.
That's right. So parang acceptance is such a the key, no, to it takes you along. Parang it's so helpful that sometimes it's so difficult also for other people to accept, you know, any aspects in their lives. But by the time you accept these things, parang it becomes kind of like easier. It becomes easier to navigate and understand what's going on. Saan ako magsisik ng help, you know. But you know, listening to your story, you know, parang it's just so inspiring kasi sometimes parang whenever it feels like everything falls into place. Na parang it feels nice at parang nakaka-motivate to keep going, to keep learning, as you mentioned, no. Sige, no. So parang ngayon, no, from the positive, medyo kakambyo ako sa stress. Sa medyo stressful time. So bilang mga magulang, parang alam natin na maraming stressors sa pagiging magulang. And whenever I work with parents, for example, mga workshops, I sometimes ask them, Nay, ano po nakaka-stress sa iyo ngayon? Ganyan. And then sasabihin nila, ang nakaka-stress, yung mag-iisip ka ng ulam araw-araw. Ganon. Kasi
Yes, yes.
minsan, isipin mo yung ulam para sa buong linggo, tapos hindi kakainin ng anak mo.
Right.
Nakaka-stress. Ganyan. Yung mga parents sa mga adolescents naman, sabihin na, Sir, ang nakaka-stress, pag sinasabihan ka ng wait lang. Ganyan. Uutusan mo, maghugas ka ng pinggan. Sabihin, wait lang. Ganyan, maglalaro sa phone nila. Ganyan. Minsan sabihin nila, ang stress po ay sir, yung asawa ko yung stress. Mga ganyan, no? So parang napakadaming stress and bawat pamilya, bawat parent, iba-iba talaga yung stressor for you. Ayan. Pag sinabing stress, ano yung nakaka-stress sa'yo? And how do you navigate? How do you manage it? Either biggest stressor or pwedeng common, regular stressor. Parang, how do you navigate it? We've been talking about a lot of responsibilities, a lot of things to think about, a lot of, strategies to try, and strategies na baka hindi masyadong effective, pero try ulit, no? How do you navigate the stressors in your life as a parent?
Ngayon kasi what helps me is parang managing my time. I mean, I'm not an expert in it, pero parang there's an awareness in me na dapat 4 a.m. gising na ako. Or dapat, meron akong time slots. Na parang,
Mga routines.
May routine. Routine helps a lot. No? So parang the kids also know that this is the routine. And then also, parang may time ako na dapat by 6 a.m. nakaalis na ako kung mapapasok ako kasi ito yung travel time ko para hindi ako nasa-stress. Tapos, siguro, kung sasagutin ko kasi kung ano yung stress, it's both managing the time, but also how I manage it is also that. Yung parang
I get it,
pag-ayos ng schedule, di ba? Parang super stressful. I think it's stressful because how do you make sure that you find time for everything? No, so kasi like for example, I'm preparing for my comprehensive exam. Tapos my mom told me, sabi ni mama, maghanap ka ng oras. Parang i-allot mo yung schedule mo, maglagay ka ng schedule mo na anong oras ka mag-aaral araw-araw. So tama naman yun, di ba? Tama naman yun. Parang how many hours. Tapos nung nilatag ko ano nangyayari ng Monday to Friday, tsaka ako nakita na parang, how much time nga ba yung kaya kong i-allot? No, what do I need to adjust? No, and I think it's helped, that exercise helped me. No, na parang may awareness ako ng how much time I'm allotting for the kids, how much time I'm allotting for traveling to work, how much time I'm allotting for my meetings, for the things that I have to do, how much time I'm allotting for my husband, and how much time I'm allotting for myself. So parang lahat yun kasi dapat parang may time block ka. Parang ganun.
Yeah.
Pero yung time block, hindi kasi nag-work sa akin yung parang ilang oras. Yung parang at least meron kang ganitong, may awareness ka na may time blocks ka. Pero how much time each, parang it's still something I'm learning. No? Tapos, ano pa ba? Yung ideya ng, yun. So yung parang scheduling helps me a lot, make sure that I have allotted enough time for each of my roles. No? So, and then, ayun, yung parang may schedule ako. Dapat by 4 a.m. gising na ako. Dapat 6 a.m. nakaalis na ako. Dapat pag-alis ako ng Ateneo, 3 o'clock nakaalis na ako.
That's right.
Dapat 5:30, hard stop na ako and everything kasi magpe-prepare na ako for dinner. Dapat by 8 p.m., 8 to 9 p.m. natutulog na yung mga bata. So, dapat So, parang ganun. Yung, parang for me, that helps me. It helps me kasi may tendency kasi ako na parang I have had moments na parang kapag nag-work ako, for example, in the afternoon, kasi diba nagna-nap time sila. Minsan, hindi ko napapansin, late na pala. Parang magsa 7 o'clock na pala. Hindi ko pa nape-prepare yung dinner. So parang for me, having that deadline for myself, parang helps me make sure na,
That's right.
okay, next hat.
So parang I noticed that's why you mentioned pag 5:30 dapat hard stop talaga, no? And you have to follow your time blocks
Yes.
in a way, no? And that's that's something that I'm also learning. Time management, no? You said na parang dapat 4 a.m. gising na, no? Sa akin, pag 4 a.m. dapat tulog na. Joke lang. Pero, parang that's also something na very interesting. Na time management can be a struggle, but it can also be the solution, no? And parang coping. And kanina you mentioned also na pag nag-start na yung free time mo, parang meron kang power hour. No, I think that's one of the things that I'll be taking home today, no, power hour. Pero yung question ko for you, no, you mentioned kanina being a parent can be overwhelming, can be overstimulating, and sometimes it can be draining. How do you reset?
How do I reset?
Because parenting doesn't stop. Right?
Yeah, parenting doesn't
So
stop.
parang kapag ubos na ubos ka na, you mentioned kayo na parang you have of course you're nourishing from the church at the same time, may power hour, merong
Yeah.
mga free time allotted for the self. Pero for you, parang ano yung favorite reset strategy approach mo na for you talagang effective to prepare you for the next day, for example?
Ang una kong naisip, honestly, pag meron akong nalinis sa bahay. Pag meron akong nalinis sa bahay.
linis.
Like for example, today, parang nalinis ko yung desk ko sa bahay. Or yung parang, kasi yung meron kaming room na, playroom siya, /office. Kasi nandun yung table ko, tapos nandun yung toys. Tapos there are days kasi na super gulo niya na I don't have time to clean it. So like when I get to clean it, it's like a reset for me. Parang ganun. Parang, I think may point yung sinasabi ng iba na parang how your room looks like is a reflection of what's happening to your brain.
Yeah.
Parang
Your
ganun.
wellness.
Your
Yun na.
wellness and everything. No? So parang for me, being able to do that to reset. Pangalawang for me, listening to music. Parang listening to music. Like, ngayon kasi parang mas praise and worship music yung pinapakinggan ko. So it helps me refuel myself. Tapos, minsan, watching a movie or a series, no? Nagiging bonding din kasi namin ng mga bata yung movie.
That's right.
Like last night, nanood kami nung Michael Jackson. Kasi parang ngayon super fan si Kobe ng Michael Jackson for some reason. So parang kabisado niya yung sayaw sa Thriller, sa Beat It. Parang yung nandun siya sa ngayon. So parang those moments, like parang alam nila pag manonood ng movie, bibili si mami ng chips. So, parang kakain kami.
Alam na, yan, bonding.
Bonding na siya, yun. Tapos, paggabi, hindi pwedeng matulog kami na hindi ko sila nababasahan ng Bible. Yung parang may kids Bible kami.
Right.
So, parang, those are my reset actually. Tsaka yung tulog. Promise, tulog.
How do you sleep? Now you have to wake up ng 4 a.m. Like, for me, that's like my struggle. I revenge me time almost every day na parang everything that I didn't get to do during the day, being a parent, working, I wanna do everything at night.
Right.
So, paano sa'yo? Like, you have to wake up at 4 a.m. Parang, paano ka nakakatulog?
I sleep, parang dahil yung mga, napansin ko kasi sa kila Arya and Kobe, it's hard for them to wake up at 4 a.m. when they don't get to sleep early. Parang yung 8 to 9 p.m. na slot na yon. Kasi naranasan ko na yun eh. May time na after 9 pa sila makatulog, hirap na sila na yan. Pero pag before 9 na nakatulog sila, mas madali. Na parang it's easier for them to move. So, sinasabayan ko sila. And I think if it's the idea of when I do, parang gusto mo kasi, di ba, parang may time ka for yourself.
Yeah.
Parang those things na hindi ko magawa dahil I'm parenting or I'm working, I do it. I schedule it. Parang
You set a block
I set a time block for that. Like yung power hour ko, parang yun for me, everyday kasi yun. Pero nagagawa ko siya after Arya and Kobe has gone to school.
That's right.
No, so I think being able to allot that space for myself, and then also laundry and folding clothes also reset for me. Kasi parang,
Therapeutic.
oo, kasi parang like ngayon kasi, like kaninang umaga, I got to finish like 5 readings while listening. I was listening to readings while folding clothes. Tapos 4 na basket yung natapos ko. So parang feeling productive ako today. Pero parang, it's also, parang kasi pag nakita ko yung baskets of clothes that I need to fold and hindi ko siya ma-fold kasi wala akong time. Parang meron akong conversation in my head na parang bakit di mo siya nagagawa? No, so parang for me, same thing with like when I see the room and I haven't allotted time for it. Parang pag nagawa ko na siya, okay, reset na tayo ulit. No, so parang, yun, those are
You know, I can relate so much about the cleaning and tidying. Like, may time na sobrang pagod sa trabaho and then grabe yung emotions ko. Like, the little time that I have for parenting, unfortunately, parang napapadalas yung stress, frustration, yung galit even. And during that week, na sobrang ubos na ubos and laging stress, ang linis ng bahay namin.
Kasi doon ka
Walis na walis yung mga yung sahig, talagang nahugasan lahat ng pinggan. So parang and after parang there's a sense of reset, there's a sense of fulfillment. And then parang of course sa psych parang there's also a term for that na parang nalilipat yung energy mo to something productive. And sobrang nakaka-relate ako doon, no? Sige, so ito you mentioned earlier kanina about working with community, with the nanaypreneurs and the parents from different communities, no? And you've been doing this for quite a while. If you were to choose one learning that shaped your parenting and the way you manage your parental wellness, for example, ano yung may isip mo na learning na talagang nag-influence sa'yo positively and nag-help sa'yo to journey through different struggles in life?
Is it a learning from my
the
work
community,
with communities?
yeah.
Okay. One of the things the first thing I thought of with that question is, one of the things I've been teaching my students whenever we do community engagement is to open your mind to what you can learn, to open your heart to the relationship that you'll get to build with the partners, with the nanays, with the community members, and to open your hands to serve, no? And I think that's ang hirap niyang ituro pag hindi mo siya naranasan from the nanays also. Parang kasi parang natuturo ko siya kasi nararamdaman ko din siya whenever I am welcomed by a community. Kasi even the nanays themselves open their minds to what they can learn from the students. They open their hearts na parang, sabi, pagka nagtitrain ako ng mga nanay bago mag-engagements, sinasabi ko lagi sa kanila, mga nanay-nanayan tayo. Parang pare-pareho kami. Like, co-formators kasi yung tawag natin sa kanila, di ba? So parang for me, nanay-nanayan tayo. Kasi kahit ako as a formator, I bring my being a mother to my formator work also. Parang yun din yung, parang, kumbaga kung may persona ng formator, nadadala ko siya na parang yung pagiging nanay ko, nadadala ko din sa pagiging formator ko na paano ko ginaguide yung mga students. But at the same time, it's also helpful for me in connecting with the nanays. No? So, yun nga, na parang binubuksan namin yung isip namin sa matututunan namin sa isa't isa. Binubuksan namin yung puso namin sa ano yung pwedeng yung relationship na pwedeng mabuo, no, between the students and the nanays. And then at the same time, open our hands to serve also. Kasi nga, in big case, it's a collaboration.
That's right.
No? So parang we don't look at the nanays as just recipients of the service, but they are collaborators in the service. No? And I think it's very relevant also, not just in my work in big case, but even in my livelihood development work. Parang namimiss ko na nga mag-train eh. Wala lang akong oras ulit pa. Tapusin ko lang yung master's ko. Pero parang, gagawin ko rin naman sa thesis ko yun. Pero parang, the inspiration behind why I'm studying the nannypreneurs in my thesis, and I want to create an enabling ecosystem for them. Parang to find that formula. Parang nalala ko nun, sabi ni Sir Leland sa akin, challenge niya sa akin nun, is to find, hi sir, parang yung challenge niya sa akin nun was to find a formula of a livelihood program that would be sustainable. No? And when I'm thinking about that challenge, it's something I'm also looking into as to what, and that's the reason why I want to learn more about the nannypreneurs and how they structure yung structuration nila, yung parang term namin sa social development, yung parang how they interact with society and how society can also take care of them. So parang yun yung inspiration ko for that thesis. And I guess for me, I went to that aspect kasi it also, and when I do my livelihood trainings, kwento ko lang, one of the first activities kasi that I do is like ask them to draw a vision board. Na parang my question for them is, how do you envision yourself, your family, and your business 5 years from now? And actually all of them, parang pag nakikita ko yung vision boards nila, laging it's something for the kids. It's always about the family. Parang kasi the students, I've also asked students to do it. Parang ginawa namin to, parang students nag-vision board. Ibang-iba yung vision board ng student dun sa nanay.
That's right.
The students usually study abroad, work, earn money, di ba? Parang yun yung usual pag ganong age pa sila which is understandable. Pag tingnan naman sa nanay, it's always, my kids will finish school, makapag-travel kami kahit dito sa Pilipinas, makapagpatayo ng sariling bahay, and it's always something outside of themselves. Parang it's always that. And kaya parang for me, that's my inspiration. Why I want to find that formula, that enabling ecosystem for them. Kasi they've been doing parang as nannypreneurs, they've been doing everything for others. So we need to take care of them. Parang they've been caring, lalo na yung mga nanay na sa K-PAW, 'di ba? Parang being a mother itself is challenging, but being a mother of a child with special needs is a different scenario altogether. And then an entrepreneur, 'di ba? Parang I think it's inspiring for me kasi yung concept nila, like sila Nanay Jo, sila Nanay Sarah, sila Nanay Ayi, no, and the many other nanays I've met in K-PAW, parang laging nasa isip nila, kung ito nararanasan ko with my child, paano yung ibang nanay, no, na pareho yung pinagdadaanan namin, and how can we help each other out? Parang how can we take care of each other while also caring for our kids? And I think that all in connecting everything, sorry, ang dami ko nang sabi, pero parang in connecting all of that, yun kasi yung gusto kong makita ng mga estudyante. Parang yun, when I do my work in Big Kiss, like, parang for the past 10 years ko sa OSCE, laging School of Management students yung handled ko. So I've seen the different models that we've explored for the different courses, for legal management, for Comtech, iba-iba pero always my personal, I've told this to my students, always my personal agenda is for them to see stories of entrepreneurs like that.
That's right.
Na hindi mo makikita wala naman akong against corporate work. I did corporate work. Diba? Pero parang, it's not something you see every day. And you learn from that.
And also, that's so inspiring, that mindset na you go beyond yourself. No?
Yeah.
Helping and supporting others and learning from others too. And nakakatuwa when you talked about opening your mind, heart, and hands. Parang throughout our conversation, parang I've seen this also how you apply it in your own family life. Like when you open your mind, heart, and hands, parang there's acceptance, there's the learning, and the values that guide you, and the way you see your children, for example, as parang it's a fresh idea for me. How you see your children as collaborators in enriching a family life. Parang that's a nice way of looking at it, and the way you talk about your communities. Parang we always talk about having a village that can help you raise your child, but also surrounding yourself with a village that can help you as a parent. Parang that's also very, very important. Na parang for me, it's also inspiring. Kasi sometimes parang when we struggle, parang it's so difficult to look beyond our own bubble, no? So parang nakakatuwa na marinig it, especially from you, na talagang active sa community, active sa family life, and active as a mom yourself, right?
Yeah.
I feel like ang dami natin pwedeng pag-usapan pa, but siguro ito na lang yung last na gusto kong itanong from you, no? Sa totoo lang, when I thought about the topic, parang ito yung gusto ko talagang itanong sa'yo. Ano yung pwede mong masabi or mabigay na tips sa mga magulang na right now in the middle of a very difficult season in their parenting life? Parang if you can provide like some wisdom or some tips, maybe from your own personal experience or from your own learning, no, sa work, no? Parang ano yung pwede mong ibigay sa kanila na pwede lang baunin, no? Ayun.
Yeah. I was thinking about it, parang what's the best way kasi nung tiningnan ko yung poster nun sa Facebook, sabi ko parang ang negative nung yung stress of
Yeah.
modern parenting. I mean, it's real.
It's real.
That's the reality. I mean, I will not say I'm not stressed. Hindi, stressed din ako. Diba? Pero parang, I think, it gets better. I think it parang yun yung nauna kong naisip. No? It gets better. No, like, I remember how I was with Arya before when she was still a baby, and I remember she was crying and I cried with her because I didn't know what to do. No, so parang I had that season also na parang hindi ko alam yung gagawin ko. And I was also crying, and there are moments also that I still look for my mom when I'm stressed or when I'm struggling or when I don't know what to do. But going back to everything, it gets better. It gets better. Tapos, pag tinatanong ako, paano mo nagagawa yung 3 kids? Ang lagi kong sagot, nasasanay ka na din. Alam mo, yung parang everyday, you're just learning.
Yeah, that's
You're just learning every single day.
You also grow with them.
Yeah, I grew with them. Yes, I agree. No, parang kasi how Arya grew up was different from how Kobe grew up. How the milestones of Arya were different from the milestones of Kobe. And Bruce is also very, very different also. No, parang iba-iba sila ng level. Pero nakikita mo din na it's a humbling experience. Na parang being a parent is a humbling experience. And parang kasi it's humbling because you're guiding another human being while also growing up
That's right.
yourself. Di ba? Parang, I had Arya when I was 22. No? So parang, of all of my friends, I was the very first one. Di ba? So parang, it's not a proud moment. Di ba? Pero parang, I think, for the past 10 years, I've been a parent. One thing I really learned is parenting is a humbling experience. And you have to be humble enough to say na you can't do something and you need help. It's kinda, I think, saying it now, I can't say na parang, but it's still a struggle for me to ask for help. It's always been a struggle for me to ask for help. Like for example, may tatanungin ako ng mga teammates ko kung ano yung kailangan kong tulong. That's hard for me. No, parang kung ito yung context mo ngayon, what can we do to help? That's a hard question for me to ask. For me to answer. Pero parang in parenting, you have to ask for help.
That's right.
You have to ask for help.
And I feel like, help seeking is also part of self-care.
Yes. Oo.
Ako, napakaganda, no? And it's so inspiring the way you said it, na parang there's always light at the end of the tunnel. I feel like bawat magulang dumaan sa ganyan, no? Sa ganong season. And it's always important to remind ourselves sa parang laging may hangganan ang mga paghihirap.
Yan. Tsaka dagdagan ko rin na yung parang parenting not out of depletion but out of overflow. No, parang when we are first time parents, we feel like isa sa mga naalala ko yun, parang pag first time parent, insan iniisip mo, am I doing things right? What are they doing that I'm not doing? Parang there's this comparison, but there's parang going back to the point, 'di ba? Yung parang para makapag-alaga ka ng anak mo. I hope that the parents also find time to take care of themselves, not to deplete themselves, but to I love because I love my kids, I love my husband, I love my students, I love the nanays I serve because I have overflow. Yun.
Oh, that's beautiful. And I think that's a perfect way to end our episode today, no. Nako, muli maraming salamat, Ina. And I know you're so busy right now. I wish you good luck sa darating na comps, no. And maraming salamat at nakapag-provide ka ng time block for us.
Thank you also for the invitation.
So, parenting today comes with many demands and no two families carry the exact same journey. But through reflection, support, and shared experiences, we are reminded that stress is not a sign of failure. It is often a part of growth, adjustment, and learning. As we heard from Ina today, parental wellness is not about having everything figured out. No? We're all still learning, but about finding ways to stay grounded, humble, adapt, and keep showing up for ourselves and for our families. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Wellness Wednesdays. Every week, we'll bring you stories, tips, and conversations that keep your mind, body, and spirit in check. Wellness that truly speaks to you. Hope you can tune in again with us next Wednesday. And for updates and replays of this episode, you can always check the social media accounts of Radyo Katipunan. Again, I am King Failart from Nurturing Connections, and this has been Wellness Wednesdays, wellness that speaks to you from the body, mind to mic. See you again next time. Bye.
We all want to live healthier in mind, body, and spirit. But where do we start? Sometimes, all it takes is a good conversation. Tune in to Wellness Wednesdays on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Together with experts, inspiring guests, and real stories, we explore tips you can actually use. From managing stress, to eating better, to finding balance in a busy world. Because here, we believe wellness isn't just about living longer, it's about living better. So join us, and let's make every Wednesday a step toward your healthiest self. Wellness Wednesdays, wellness that speaks to you, from the body, mind to mic. Every Wednesday on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Katipunan.